所以呢，我们也是首先要欢迎各位开发者，然后包括各位波卡生态的伙伴们，大家下午好，欢迎来到今天的这个 Dot Your Future 黑客松系列的 workshop 的第4期的现场，我是本期的这个会议主持人 Dixon。今天呢，我们也将深入的进入到波卡生态的核心地带，共同探索如何构建下一代流动性质押的应用。那么在多链的未来呢，资产的流动性是释放价值的关键，而 Bifrost 也是作为多链生态打造流动性质押的中枢，正在重塑质押的体验与边界。但如何理解其精妙的架构，如何基于它构建高效可扩展的应用，这个呢，其实也是我们今天要解答的核心问题。那么本期的 workshop 我们将聚焦于构建下一代流动性质押应用 Bifrost 架构设计与使用指南，为大家带来从顶层设计到落地实践的完整的线路图。而且呢，今天我们也非常荣幸的邀请到了2位来自 Bifrost 的专家，他们也是分别从这个技术实现与产品演进的这种双重维度为我们带来前沿的分享。那么首先呢，我们也是欢迎这个 ZX Team Bifrost 的开发者关系工程师，以及呢这个 Tyrone Bifrost 的产品负责人，然后分别呢我们会在后面给我们带来2场这个精彩的分享。OK， 那么首先我们也是有请这个 ZX Team 开始今天的分享。Okay, I will do a quick English version. So hello everyone, so developers and builders and friends from Polkadot ecosystem. So good afternoon and welcome to the 4th workshop of Dot Your Future Hackathon series. And I'm your host today, Dixon. So today we are driving straight into the heart of Polkadot ecosystem, exploring how to build the next generation of liquid staking applications. So this session is themed building the next generation liquid staking application inside Bifrost architecture and design, and bring you a full roadmap from design to implementation. And we are honored to have 2 amazing speakers from Bifrost joining us today, sharing both technical and product perspective. So let's welcome ZX Team, the developer relations engineer at Bifrost, and also Tyrone, product lead at Bifrost. So first, I will invite ZX Team to do the presentation first. So ZX Team is your time now.
Cool. Thank you, Dixon. Hey everyone. I'm gonna start sharing the presentation now. One moment.
Yep.
Okay. And I hope it works. Okay, sounds good. Looks good. All right, let me turn on a slideshow. Looks good. Does it look good? Okay. Awesome.
Yep, perfect.
Okay, so today we have a short presentations on how Bifrost liquid staking works. From the perspective of Polkadot protocol, and we will talk a little bit on what kind of applications you can build a little bit further towards the end, and I also give you guys some tips on how to what you should be focusing on in terms of UX and getting it out to the users. So the presentation is called One Stake Endless Opportunities. And here's the QR code leading to the presentations in case you want to have this presentation with you on your computer, so you can do a quick scan and get it. And I will move forward. So okay, let's go to the first part, liquid staking fundamentals. So this is the traditional staking. This is how Polkadot's nomination NPOS works, nominated proof of stakes. This is how the protocol works. So basically, there are a bunch of these pools, which is called nomination pool. And this is, if you go into the wallets, like if you have Nova wallet, you use Sub wallet, you probably would see their nomination pool inside there. So basically, nomination pool is just these, but basically wallets basically pulling the dot together into these nomination pool, and nomination pool will start selecting a nominator, which is, and think about nominator as the one that will be voting for which validator to propose the block. So you have some structure like this. So there's a bunch of nominator inside that works with nomination pool, and usually the nominator is led basically the nomination pool leader will be the nominator for that pool, and you can delegate the dot to whichever pool it is, and you have a nominator for that pool. And then the nominator, there's the responsibility nominator is to nominate, quote unquote, the validator to propose a block, for Polkadot, right? Because that's how blockchain works. You need validator to propose a block, and then other validators will start signing off to that. The one that proposes a block will earn a reward. But that's the traditional staking. So there's, we will talk about the pros and cons with that in a bit. But this is how Bifrost liquid staking works. So instead of using nomination pool, what Bifrost liquid staking would do is you would delegate you put your dot into this Bifrost liquid staking module. Think about it's like a really big smart contract, and the Bifrost liquid staking module will nominate. It will select Bifrost nominator to be the nominator for this. So it acts somewhat like a nomination pool, but it's not, because it works more like a smart contract. Then the Bifrost nominator would select the validator accordingly. Would select, just very similar to the nominator in the case of nomination pool. However, there's a lot of advantage to do it this way. First is the Bifrost liquid staking module will also, when you deposit dot into the module will return you V dot, which is a representation of your dot. It has a different exchange rate. So basically, your dot is being staked into the system, but then you also have a representation of that can be used in other places. For example, hydrations, money markets, swaps, etc. Right? So basically, your capital doesn't just get stuck. You can keep using your capital in other places, which gets to this slide on the advantage of VDOT or liquid staking versus nomination pool. So with VDOT, your liquidity is unlocked. You can always you can use hydrations. You use your VDOT. Your dot is still being staked. You're earning rewards, and then you also have VDOT that you can put into money market. You can swap it if you need to, all that kind of stuff. So basically, you can enter and exit the positions anytime you want, 24/7. Your liquidity is unlocked essentially. In contrast with nomination pool, where your liquidity is stuck there for for the entire duration of your staking. Capital efficiencies, because your capital it doesn't just getting stuck there, it's being used in other places, so you can get higher yield for your same amount of capital. So unlocks higher capital efficiencies compared to nomination pool, which your capital just gets stuck there. Cross-chain interop. So for VDOT at the moment, you can also bring VDOT to a lot of other ecosystem. You can bring that within the Polkadot ecosystem, which is going from the Bifrost chain to Asset Hub, or to Moonbeam, to a bunch of other chains or hydrations. Or you can also bring your VDOT to the L2s at the moment with the help of Hyperbridge. You can bring that over to Arbitrum base, Ethereum, BNB chain, and participate on farming opportunities on that side at the moment. Nomination pool, there basically not much you can do with it. This basically just because your liquidity is stuck there. You can still vote in OpenGolf with your VDOT, because Bifrost only launched this voting module that even if you put your dot into Bifrost, you still can retain your voting power, and instead of nomination pool, which you don't. Flexible redemption period, basically because VDOT is liquid, you can basically sell your VDOT for dot anytime you want. So then basically your redemption, or you can follow the normal redemption period, or you can just sell it directly in the market and unlock your capital immediately. Instead of contrast with nomination pool, which is 28 days for you to unlock your dot from the nomination pool. So it takes a long time. Both these methods share the same thing, same goal, which is support the decentralization of Polkadot, and also secure Polkadot, because the capital is being staked and helps validate the chain. So here's like a short diagram to explain a bit more. This diagram somewhat like a decent amount. I think like 4 months ago. So the prices are different, but you can you can see like the advantage on this side. For example, you put 10 dot into the Bifrost liquid staking module, you receive back 6.83 V dot, because the way dot and V dot exchange rate work is basically when you put a dot inside, you receive V dot as a representation, and V dot is basically your dot plus rewards. So then the price of V dot will appreciate versus dot. So over time. So then over time, your V dot will get more dot back. So then basically that's how you earn the rewards. The reason why we do it this way, because it helps with the accounting from older DeFi protocol. There's another way, which is basically if I appreciate your V dot. So for example, you put 10 dot in, you get back 10 V dot, and then the 10 V dot balance keeps going up. So this is called rebase token. But then that usually causes a lot of issues with accounting from DeFi protocol. DeFi protocol likes numbers that don't appreciate that way. So then the method that Bifrost team we have selected is to have V dot to appreciate in value compared to dot. So then the accounting with DeFi protocol, they work better that way. So then after you can so after you get your V dot 6.83 V dot, you can put your V dot into hydrations, which is like a DEX on Polkadot. There's like a whole parachain that's dedicated for DEX for you to trade and farm APR, plus as a money market as well. So the APR on hydrations, the LP for the LP APR is 1%, and the farm is 9%. So then you get a total of 10% extra APR. So so basically, after 1 year, day 365, you can withdraw 7.51 V dot from hydrations. So then basically that's like 10%, of your 6.83 V dot, and then your 7.51 V dot will be able to exchange back into 12.48 dot, representing an APY of 15% for your dot. So basically, you start out with 10 dot. After 1 year, you get 12.48 dot, returning. So you not only you get the yield, the 15% yield here from the native staking, but right now Polkadot is going down. The yield is going down. It's like 9% right now. It used to be higher, but right now it's 9%. But not just you don't only get the yield from a native staking, you also get an extra yield from participating in DeFi protocol. So that's the power of liquid staking token. And the biggest USP from Bifrost is our liquid staking token can be bridged into multiple different chains. And they own standardized. They follow the same, the architecture for the tokens works the same in basically most of the chains. So then you'll be able to go, multi-chain very easily. So can serve multiple chains at once. You can build an app that bridge this liquidity across, and earn more APR from DeFi activities. So these are some of the USP. So this is our positioning at the moment. So basically, it's like a all-inclusive liquid staking protocol for many different ecosystem, and basically everything just and using Bifrost, the parachain, as the accounting pool for your and with high level of security, because Bifrost chain is being secure at the moment by the Polkadot protocol, so highly secure. And with using Hyperbridge, it can also be bridged to multiple ecosystem easily. Let's talk some use case. So, like a simple use case that I usually tell people is a no loss token launchpad, or you can call it a no loss fundraising protocol, for example. So basically, it will work like this: people can put their dot into a launchpad vault, and then the dot will be sent to the Bifrost liquid staking module. You get the V dot back, and then when it gets a V dot back, it will query the V dot and dot rate from the Bifrost LLC Oracle, so you know what is the exchange rate that you start with, and basically then you can use the yield, the yield from the V dot, because the V dot appreciate over time uh, uh, against dot. So then you will be able to start having a little bit of yield into it. Let's say let's say it's 10% right now. So you can use a 10% yield to start buying into tokens. You can fund. Teams can fundraise with the APR with this 10%. So, for example, I put in $100, $10, and over a year, $10 will be dedicated for a team for them to grow the product or launch a token and stuff. And I will get a token in exchange of my 10% yield that gets delegated to the team. So nice thing is, so basically, why is no loss? Because no loss because your principal, you never lose the principal. You only risk the yield into this venture, right? To fundraising, you're supporting the project you like, supporting like a toolings, supporting initiatives that you like, just with the yield. So it's basically your principal is never at risk. You lose a little bit in opportunity cost, but not so much that you will feel devastated even in the case that the project fails. So it's like one of the popular use case that I like to recommend people to explore. Fundraising protocol, no loss token launchpad, those ones. And there's a lot more ideas on this link, so you can scan it, you go to it. For example, another idea is like a self-repaying loans. So basically, because the assets, the V dot in this case, it has a yield baked in. For example, you can take the V dot, you stake that into a money market, and then you can start borrowing USDC to spend, USDT to spend. But then, the yield from your principal, your asset, can start being diverted to pay off your loans slowly over time. So then you can have something like a self-repaying loan in a sense, compared to if you use DOT on its own, because DOT doesn't have yield baked into it. So there's a lot of ideas on there. You can take a look and just pick the ideas you like to build. If you have any questions, feel free to open an issues and just ask me questions directly in there, and I will happy to answer. And let's see, and let's talk a little bit on things to keep in mind when you build your product and stuff. This one I don't have a slide, so let's we just have like a conversation. First, you should focus on a really good UX, not so much UI. So there's two aspects when you build a product. Not on the business sense of product, but more like the technical sense of a product. You have the UI and the UX. The UI is how good your product looks, and the UX is how good your product feels. So usually my the two of them go hand in hand fundamentally, because you want something to look nice, appealing, to attract people, and also it has to feel good to use it. It feels smooth. It feels like responsive. It doesn't takes time to load and all that kind of stuff. So, but however, the one that usually directly, especially if for someone that use DeFi protocol daily, the UX is something is very important. UI can be not so ideal. Doesn't have to be pretty. Doesn't have to be with like tons of crazy animations that does all these flash and things that spin, all that kind of stuff. You don't have to do so much on that. But it's a UX where people feel responsive. They say they click a button and they get a feedback immediately on what is it being done at the moment. For example, I want to get some VDOT. I take my dot, I connect my wallet. The process of connecting wallet is smooth. My balances can load up as fast as possible, and then when I click it, every button tells me what is being done. Is my dot is being processed, and there's all these little visual cues for me to understand, like, oh, my money is something is happening with my money. So it doesn't feel dead. And also, especially on the edge cases where people like decline, like for example, I wanted I play around with the protocol. I click cancel on these ones. So you need to make sure you handle all of these cases of people decline actions, or people like they start they go halfway through the process, and then they just cancel right there. You need to restore the state. You need to making sure that they don't feel like janky, with a feeling when the website doesn't work as you expect it to work. It start like giving you like things like seems broken, or there's something that's not handled, so the whole website just go blanked and freak out, panic, all that kind of stuff. So so then it doesn't feel as good, especially you use it every day. It becomes it's like a source of annoyance. so that it doesn't feel good. So that's what you need to focus on. Is so there's if you go through the resources that we talk about in the first workshop, there's lots of resources that I put together, from the SDK to the what's that, the build stack for you to kind of like experiment, Bifrost UI kit for you to see how I handle these rejections and all that kind of stuff. How the loading gets triggered, all these things, to have little visual cues everywhere, loading spinners, skeleton, all that kind of stuff for as your reference. So focus on those things to get a really good user experience to the people, and yeah, they will be happy to use the product in the long term and not feeling too annoying, and that kind of stuff. And that's it. That's it for my presentation. Thank you so much for joining the call today.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, thank you, Zex team. Yeah, that's pretty much an incredible detailed presentation, and I believe many of us who are listening right now, you probably have a much clearer understanding of how Bifrost multi-chain architecture actually work, and also how the liquid staking in practice. So yeah, let's move to the next. 所以我们下一个呢，就是将要是由这个 Terran， 然后给我们去从产品的方面，然后做一个分享，然后包括呢我们后续呢为我们看一下这个 Bifrost 产品矩阵的设计哲学和未来的这个演进之路，然后所以我们也是欢迎 Terran 来给我们做下一阶段的这么一个分享。OK，
谢谢 Dixon。我来投一下屏，可以看到我投屏吗？
可以。
好的 OK， 那么刚才我们已经做了一些相关技术的分享，那么技术分享里面包括了这个 Bifrost 整体铸造以及赎回整个 VDOT 是什么，它的运行机制的一个讲解。那么这里面其实就是主要是 Bifrost 这条平行链和 Polkadot 的这个质押机制之间完成的一系列的这个跨链操作，去完成DOT 的质押，然后同时发行这个 Liquid Staking Token。那我这边分享内容主要是关于这个 Liquid Staking Token， 或者简要叫它 VDOT。那 VDOT 这个 Token 在目前 Bifrost 都有哪些应用场景实用的案例？那我主要分享的这些内容。那么对开发者而言，就是在开发完一个产品之后，或者说使用 Bifrost 的 VDOT 你去进行接入，或者是做前端开发也好，那么这个 VDOT 它具体有哪些用例是可以去参考的？那我们可以看看这个 Bifrost App。目前Bifrost 已经积累了大概1亿美金的市值，那么其中大部分其实都来自于 VDOT。VDOT 呢现在是大概是2400万个 DOT 的质押，那么发行了这个现在 VDOT 和 DOT 的一个这个汇率是在 1.5659 这么一个大概数字。这个汇率呢，刚才 Victor 也有提到，就是因为这个 Liquid Staking Token 它属于这种收益型的凭证，那么所以呢，它这个凭证里面一个 VDOT 它是等于了 DOT 价值加上 DOT 已经累积的质押收益，所以说这个收益凭证它的价值是在不断增长的，这就是为什么会有 VDOT 和 DOT 之间的汇率这里面包含了它的 staking reward。那么在这个 VDOT 的这个所有用例里面我们最近做的一些进展比较在社区里面关注度比较高的，就是叫这个 DeFi Singularity 的一个项目。这个项目其实是由 Polkadot 国库去申请，然后进行资助，那么里面去进行这种流动性的激励，在不同的 Layer 2上，包括了以太坊主网，然后还有几个 Layer 2 Arbitrum、Base、BNB， 那么这几个 Layer 2，在这些网络上面，我们可以看到VDOT 有部署它和 ETH 这种交易对流动性池这个就是在 DeFi 方面的一个最基础的流动性应用。这块呢，其实背后为什么说 VDOT 可以在这个以太坊主网或者 Layer 2上用，这个可能开发者会有一些问题。那么也是刚才 Victor 可能提到，就是关于 Bifrost 有一个跨链架构叫 SLPX， 也就是 Liquid Staking for Cross Chain 2.0 的一个版本。那么这个版本下的就是可以让这个链抽象，也就是把 VDOT 可以抽象到不同的 Layer 2和以太坊兼容的这些网络里面。那在这些网络里面，你是可以去直接完成铸造的，在一个合约里面去直接调用铸造。那用户在前端操作的时候，就直接铸造它的这个铸造它的 EVM 钱包里面。那实际的底层的架构呢，是 VDOT 的发行永远都会在 Bifrost 这条链上完成，然后只不过是用户在 EVM 上操作，在 Layer 2上操作 VDOT 的时候，它是在 Layer 2上操作 VDOT 的时候，它其实是通过了一个跨链的调用过程比如说它先把 DOT 要从以太坊网络转移到 Bifrost， 然后铸造成 VDOT， 再给它发回去这套流程用户是不用做任何的手动操作是无感知的，所以这个就是我们这套链抽象的一个SLPX 这套架构所实现的一个应用场景。那刚才说了，这个 DeFi Singularity 这个项目就是在不同网络上去部署这些流动性。那么目前而言，可以看到就是像这是Uniswap 以太坊的 Uniswap 里面的 VDOT 和 ETH 交易对目前是有12万美金的一个流动性。那么对于 DOT 来说，也有 DOT 和 ETH 的交易对，那么是大概有的是80多万，有的是100多万的流动性。那么这个是整体这个项目。那么在 Merkle 上，这是一个激励发放的一个平台，也是用户主要去参与这个流动性激励的一个入口，算是。那在这上就可以看到所有这些和 VDOT 以及 DOT 相关的这些池子。那么点进去之后，它会跳转到一个流动性提供那这是这个跨链这块的一个业务流程，一些应用的案例，这是介绍的这个第一部分内容。然后第二部分，的话呢，就是最近 Bifrost 也是在 VDOT 上去增加了一个新功能VDOT 它呢，我们是希望 VDOT 可以继承所有它原生这个 DOT 本身的治理权限的，所以在去年的时候，我们就更新了一版功能，叫这个 VDOT Referendum Voting， 也就是说你使用 DOT 本身是可以在 Polkadot 上进行参与治理提案的这种投票的，对吧？那 VDOT 按理说应该是也可以去使用这个功能，所以我们在去年就上了这个治理功能。今年呢，也就是最近这个月，我们现在在内测阶段的一个新功能，就是可以进行委托投票。在 Polkadot 原链上，你参与治理用户是可以把自己的这种票权 voting power 去 delegate 给别人的，去委托给别人的。那在你委托之后呢，你委托的这个目标地址进行投票的时候，你自己持有的这些 DOT 会去跟票也就是说比如说我委托的给 A， 那么 A 去投票的时候，不管是他都支持或者反对，那我的票都会跟随他去投相同的这种意见所以我们也是增加了这么一个 delegation 功能。那这个里面现在主要用的比较多的是一些道组织，你可以看到就像这些道组织，或者在常用 Subsquare 的同学可能知道，就是这些道组织他们会有很多用户给他们委托这种 DOT 的票权就是这些道组织可以去代表一大部分用户的治理意见，然后去参与这种公投的投票。那这个新功能呢，就是你可以去委托你的 VDOT 给你可以去委托你的 VDOT 给其他地址，比如说任何地址吧，你可以去委托给另一个地址，或者你从这里面去选你想去委托的道组织 这是第一种。然后第二种是可以去委托给 Bifrost。委托给 Bifrost 是什么意思呢？可以委托给 Bifrost 的 OpenGov， 委托给 Bifrost 的这个治理模块。也就是说Bifrost 的治理模块将持有你的这种投票意见然后 Bifrost 的治理模块会经过一轮投票之后，去选出到底要给哪个这个提案投票，然后是否通过。那这是由社区，也就是由 Bifrost 社区 BNC 的持有人去这个讨论并且决议的。那当这个提案过了之后呢，那么委托给 Bifrost 的这些 VDOT 的票数就会去投给对应的公投里面了。这是委托给 Bifrost 的这么一个逻辑。那这也是一个比较新颖的设计吧，用一个链去委托用户投票，然后去完成投票。那这也是 VDOT 的一个新功能。那简单看一下这个 beta 测试，就是我这个地址呢已经用另一个地址去给它做了一些委托了 1.7552 个 dot。 所以呢当我们去参与这个公投治理的话，当我们参与公投治理的话，我这个地址去给这个随便找一个提案吧，然后去投票的时候，我一是可以选这种信念倍数，然后二是我可以看到我这个去投 0.1 个票嘛，然后这里面包括了只要我投出去的话呢就是有 1.7552 个委托给我的票数也会跟着投出去，这就是 delegation votes， 这就是委托。然后会显示这个 Bifrost 网络总计的这个投票是多少然后目前这个提案是没有遇到的去投票，所以这个是0。那么在投票之后会有多少，这会显示。这就是这么一个逻辑。那么投票我们是通过一个跨链，也是通过跨链调用一个中继链上的一个地址，一个 voter 地址去执行的这个投票。那这个是一个在中继链上一个没有私钥的一个托管地址。这个是我们近期的一个新功能。这个大家感兴趣的话，可以去看一下 Bifrost Doc 里面在 FAQ 这个 section 里面有一个叫What is V token delegation voting， 就是这个文章里面会描述一下，就是这大概的一个工作原理，我就不在这里面去细讲了所以这个大家感兴趣可以去看看。然后第三个想分享就是Bifrost 会在今年年底的时候去上线新的这个 tokenomic 新的一个经济模型。那么其中最主要的就是一个叫 BNC 的这么一个凭证它其实是我们 native token BNC 的一种分红类型的凭证。也就是说持有 BNC 是可以让用户享受到 Bifrost 的协议收入的如果有用过这种 VE 模型VE 模型的这种 token 的同学呢可能会比较熟悉，就是你持有这个凭证之后，所有的这个协议收入都会分给你。那么 BNC 比较不同的是所有的协议收入都会去进行 BNC 的回购之后呢等于说会给这个整体的 BNC 用户去增值。那么里面其实会有一些比如说怎么让你的这种你持有的 BNC 去实现最大化的收益，那有哪些场景可以去参加的？比如说你如果持有 BNC 的话，你在参与像farming 的时候，你会有额外的一些收入。然后包括这个文章里面写的是如果你去增加这种质押的时间的话，它会给你更多的这个收益。然后就是这是提供流动性的话，去提供一些 BNC 和某个交易对的流动性的话，也可以获得一些额外的权益这是这个 BNC。那整体的这个新经济模型的更新呢， 其实它主要就是围绕协议收入。那么 Bifrost 的协议收入都是来源于就是 liquid staking 的业务嘛，所以我们所有的这几个像 VDOT VA Star、VManta 这些，只要有协议这个 staking reward，那么 Bifrost 在里面都会得到协议收入。那协议收入的话，就会去用来回购 BNC 以及进行BNC 回购之后呢，会有10%的销毁，那么剩下10%，剩下的90%是去为 BNC 持有的用户去增值的。那么 BNC 在这个生态里面其实扮演了一个非常重要的，一个是治理角色，一个是BNC 的用户，也就是 Bifrost 用户的粘性。那么这个同时可以帮助 V token 的实现这种持续的TVL 上面的增长，那么也就是意味着 Bifrost 会获得更多的协议收入。那这个是一个新的经济模型，我们暂时还没有去公布具体的上线时间，所以大家可以去持续跟进一下 Bifrost 官方的推特。然后就是关于开发们相关的技术问题，可以在我们的 For Builders 这个 section 里面找到。一个是最开始我们说到链抽象这块的 SLPX 的内容，可以在这儿找到。然后哪些支持的这个 Layer 2也好EVM 兼容的链也好哪些支持网络可以去用这个模块，可以在这里面找到。然后一些相关配套的设施，包括一些 Oracle或者 VToken APIs 都可以在这里面找到。所以Bifrost Doc 是一个比较全面的这个访问入口，大家可以去参考一下。然后我要分享的内容就是这些谢谢。
非常感谢非常感谢这个 Terry 也是带来一个非常精彩的和详细的，包括从产品介绍然后再到他们现在正在做的这些技术更新然后新的这个 Token Economics 的模型的预告然后基本上还让我们有一个非常深刻的了解的。OK， 那么相信大家呢也是对这个 Bifrost 和流动性质押的未来有了这么一个更清晰的认识OK， 那我们现在呢，其实就是本期 workshop 的开放 Q&A 的互动环节。那么我们也是鼓励大家来积极提问然后后台呢也是会给我一些这个他们在留言区或者后台留下的问题，然后我会提给2位嘉宾。那么的问题呢也是不限于这个框架设计细节然后包括这个多链环境的这么一个开发等问题。OK。那我们来看一下好的，那么我在后面呢收到的问题，一个是对于刚接触 Bifrost 的开发者，您会推荐什么样的具体工具、代码范例或者是调试方法来快速上手？So the first question is for developer who first got in touch with Bifrost. So what are some recommended tools or code examples or something like how to rearrange the methods, to quickly get some Bifrost development? Yeah. So yeah, whoever wants to answer this question can just speak.
Bifrost development, like how to quickly get into it.
Yeah, how to quickly get into it.
Just take a look at the Bifrost UI kit. Give it a try. And then you should be able to get in it like super quick.
Right.
That's it. Yeah, that's probably good. That's like a
I believe
documentation.
the toolkit should be all set. Yeah, should be comprehensive enough.
Yeah.
For the
There's a lot of
developer.
there's a lot of documentations on docs.bifrost.io. There's also documentation inside the Mono repo. So you go to bifrost-io/mono. You'll be able to have a lot of reading materials in there as well.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. 好的，那我们相信这个 ZXTeam 已经回答了这位朋友的问题OK，那我们来看看下一个。 还有一个问题是，在提升用户体验方面 ，Bifrost 有哪些独特的设计理念或技术实现？特别是在降低用户认知门槛和操作成本方面有哪些努力？So this question is more for the UI or user experience as well. So in the areas of user experience, what are some exceptional or distinctive design concept or technical implementation to lower the barrier for people to use and to operate on Bifrost?
我可以回答这个问题。
好的。
就是刚才说到了这种练抽象的概念，其实 Bifrost 主要就是把一些比较繁杂、用户需要跨链的这些步骤都给抽象打包出来了。那么其实在 Bifrost 或者是像 Bifrost 支持一些 EVM 的链上，你操作的话，就是一个签名就可以完成一笔铸造，但是这个铸造的背后其实是 Bifrost 进行过 UX 的优化。这个 UX 就包括了跨链2次跨链以及这个铸造这3步流程完成的这个整体的一系列操作。
对，这个刚才在您的这个演讲过程中其实也提到了，然后很多这些中间的操作呢，其实用户是不用再手动去做了。其实这些不管是哪些体验，这些体验吧，包括这些技术提升吧，其实都是在帮助用户去降低他们的这个使用门槛的。OK， 那我们再看啊，后台有最后一个啊，就是开发者在集成 Bifrost 的时候，最容易在哪个环节出现问题？比如是在 LST 铸造、赎回的流程，或者是跨链状态的查询上，有哪些特别需要注意的细节和这个避考建议？ So this question is from one of our community members who actually asked for developers using the Bifrost or developing the Bifrost. What are some of the areas or points that are mostly to get it wrong? So for example, on LST, on staking or restaking, and also on bridging status. So what are some special notice or special details that people should be aware of?
I think I was mute. So the one that you should be aware of is because there usually is a delay interacting with the Bifrost protocol on any chain. So it's not what they usually call atomic. So atomic means you can start interact with the protocol and then keeps doing something else, especially you build smart contract to interact with our smart contract. But for Bifrost, because there's usually a delay, because everything the accounting is done on Bifrost parachain. So then information, basically whatever you do, there's going to be a little delay, and that usually break the atomicity of your process. So you have to keep in mind that you just keep in mind of that, because you cannot build a smart contract that interact with it and it keeps doing. Like say for example, you use Aave or like some lending protocol, you can build a smart contract that interact with it, that put the money in and keeps doing something else. But because there's no atomic city here, then you just have to basically your action has to you put some money in, you wait till the LST you receive, then you start doing something else. So your user, you have to keep that in mind for your user.
Yeah, that should be helpful. Yeah, I think both of you really well answered the questions, listed or raised by the community members and also listener from our streaming. Okay, so 由于时间关系呢，那我们今天的问答呢，就是先抽取这3个问题。 那么如果大家还是有更多的这个问题啊，也是欢迎在我们的 X 平台上关注这个 OneBlock Plus， 然后我们也会持续的分享最新的技术内容和活动资讯。那么也是再次的感谢 ZX Team， 然后包括 Taryn 带来今天的这个精彩分享，然后也感谢每一位在线的小伙伴，然后来去参加到我们的这一次的这个 Online Hackathon 的这个活动当中。Okay, so that's all the time we have for today's Q&A. And people have more questions, feel free to follow us on X at OneBlock. And we will keep sharing the latest Polkadot and also Bifrost updates here. So once again, huge thanks to ZX team and Tyrone for joining us today. And thank you everyone here for turning in. And remember, every great build starts with a bold idea. And now I believe everyone gets a much deeper understanding of how Bifrost work and their future updates. So please bring your vision to life in the Doubt Your Future Hackathon, and see you in the next workshop. Thank you, guys.
Thanks for having us. See you next time.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
See everyone
Thank
next time.
you.
Bye.